Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of our discussion on reboot films. My name is T.Y. Chung, I am with
Kyle Charles.
And here we are taking a return to this particular part.
Yep.
The trip around the multiverse. So usually the reboots. Okay,
Yep.
So we'll just change it up a little bit and say, because we were just talking about reboots in general, but then we'll just, for the rest of these, I guess we'll just say, you know what, did they deserve to be rebooted?
Yeah.
Should they have been rebooted? You know, that stuff.
Yeah.
Because we were like just kind of comparing the first,
Original to the new one, yeah.
So, but we'll just add a little bit more because we're coming to some of them where not, I don't say variation in quality, but then it's like, okay, some of the originals are actually pretty good,
Yeah.
but then it tails off. So it's best to, you know what, does it actually
Did it deserve to be revived?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Even that. Though some of them we went before and we were like, you know what, yeah, we didn't say, but then again, some of the reboots were just one-offs, and you're like, well, yeah, okay, it didn't even get us.
Didn't get it.
Exactly.
It wasn't worth.
Exactly. Did you see? I guess you've seen The Mummy, yeah? 1999 Brendan Fraser one, and Tom Cruise one, right?
Yep.
Have you seen anything before that, by the way? Any mummies before that?
I don't know if I've seen the original 1930s Mummy. I don't think I have.
So what did you think of the 1999, the Mummy series?
Mummy series.
The we don't count Scorpion King as part of it. It's just
until that reboot comes.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Technically speaking, what would you say? This is it is kind of reboot, but it's not reboot of the same story. I did enjoy The Mummy actually.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first lot.
I don't want to say it was a bit of a. I don't want to say it was a bit of a clown show, but it didn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
It's like a Indiana Jones style, like a comedy action. I want to say necessarily it was comedy, but there were jokes in it.
Yeah, it was like
jokes in the execution, how the story was told. It wasn't nothing meant to be serious.
Yeah, it's like a all round sort of good film. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, like it's got its action, it's got its comedy.
Yeah.
It's got its horror to a certain extent, so you can watch it with kids.
Oh yeah, no. There's a bit where.
Except for like the beetle bit.
No, it's not even that. I'm saying when they took the guy's eyes.
Oh yes,
and then the creepy little guy is like, oh yeah, he took your eye, he thanked you for your hospitality.
Yeah.
And your eyes and your tongue and your arm. You're like, oh man. And the guy's just like with his eyes shown shut and his mouth. He can't even scream because his mouth, his tongue's gone. He's like, well, that's kind of sinister stuff, man, right there.
But it's not as scary. Yeah, it's a good. You can watch it as a child and enjoy it. Yeah, actually, the adult and enjoy it, sort of thing. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying there's enough sinister.
It's enough.
The way I'm telling it, it's not how they execute, because they execute it in a bit of a, I don't say a lighter fashion, but it's not as if
more family friendly way.
Yeah. It's like not as if it's filmed in the darkness and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've just cherry picked this particular moment in a film that's kind of, I don't want to say colourful, but.
Yeah, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. So, but if that was that particular section stood out to me, it was like if that was in a proper horror film, man, that would be proper creepy.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is basically running the desert, right? I didn't. They just this is just trying to shoehorn a lot of stuff in to create the dark universe.
Yeah.
But who's the actual mummy?
That's the thing. Like, I don't like the story to a certain point. I don't mind it. Yeah. Then obviously, like, there's one big shoehorn bit with the Russell Crowe bit. You're like, hey, where's this going now? Yeah. And like you were saying, it seems like if they just focused on the film, it made more sense. But because trying to shoehorn things, you don't know who actually is the mummy. Was it her? Is it Tom Cruise? I don't know at this point.
Yeah. As an actual film, would you say? I don't want to say unforgettable, but it's nothing like with the rest of the Mummy series. To be fair, Tomb of the Emperor King, or whatever it was called with Jet Li.
Yeah.
I don't think it just started kind of tail off there, but the way that the entire series kind of went, it was entertaining. Yeah. Overall, because it had the same sort of execution in all the films.
Yeah.
But this is trying to be something epic, but just wasn't.
Yeah, it tried to be. Yeah, it's. I don't know. Like, I can remember like key moments of the original two. I never saw the third one. I sort of checked that by the time. But the Mummy. What year did it come out? 2017?
Yep.
Yeah. All I remember is that weird trailer where they didn't edit it properly. He's just screaming in the air carrier.
Yeah.
That's the only scene that I remember. I don't remember anything else. I don't know. Like you said, who is the titular mummy?
Yeah.
It's
yeah. I think they just tried to make a universe from a single movie rather than just get this movie told.
They should have like streamlined the film a bit more, and then if they want to sort of like shoehorn a other film near the end of it, so you're like, okay, this could lead to that, not in literally in the middle. We're planning to do these films,
Mr. Dr. Jekyll
and look, there's the Loch Ness monster skull, whatever you like. Wait, why are you doing all this? It changed the pace of the film.
You've got that mummy film.
You're like, don't put all your chickens in one basket yet. Just build the foundations, then go.
What do you think of the Texas Chainsaw? So
going back to that.
Oh yeah,
Mummy shouldn't have been rebooted. They should have just done a new one with Brandon Fraser.
I don't want to. Okay, so I don't want to say yes or no about that because
I'm joking.
I'd probably prefer better to have the Mummy 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or something to similar style of that sort of film.
Yeah.
Which takes place in the 30s, whereas this was kind of like modern day, but it just didn't have the same vibe.
Didn't have the same vibe. No, it shouldn't have been rebooted at all.
Yeah. Unless there was something that they were going to do with it that was going to be
worth it.
Yeah. What do you think of the Texas Chainsaws? It's technically, I think this is like the original. So this had two kind of reboots because they had the New Beginning and then the
Jessica Biel one in like 2000 something 2006 or 7.
Then one from 2012, I think.
I can't remember.
I think this one's 1974. I can't remember.
Yeah. It's another one.
Kind of like it is what it is, but it's not like it's any different from any of the films previous to it. It could have just been a continuation. It didn't need a reboot.
Could have been one of the many sequels.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't need to be reboot. Yeah. There's not much to say about it. No. Technically, it's just slasher films.
And like with films like this, I don't see why they have to do a reboot because like.
Oh no! At this point, though, you can say the franchise is going downhill, and that's why they had to reboot.
Yeah, but then it's like. Then you're just starting up another crappy universe.
Add something to it, change it up.
Are you planning to do another sequel to that one? Yeah, it's just where do you go from that? And then you end up in the same boat we got.
Exactly. You reboot twice.
Yeah, didn't need to be rebooted.
No. Transporter from 2002 and Transporter 2015. Transporter Refueled. That was the reboot. We're not taking into account the TV series because. That's not.
I forgot about that as well.
What do you think of these two?
Another one
didn't need to
reboot.
You like Statham still could pull off the stuff he could do.
Yeah, exactly.
But and Frank Martin did have the charm of the growl and the ability of Jason Statham, martial art, like action wise, is kind of hard to. It's strange to say he's got action movie man charisma.
Yeah.
In the sense that you don't need a lot of acting skill to do that, but as long as you come across as the star of the film,
They could just.
I don't think Ed Train or whatever had Jim Brennan. He doesn't have the physical abilities that Jason Statham does have.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have that gruff charisma that helps him. That anything that Jason Statham does, you can accept that he does.
Yeah, but even like that, if you think about it as well, they didn't have to redo a reboot. They could just done a sequel and it's like he's another
character. Yeah.
Rather than let's try and start from the beginning for a film that people still have in their memories. Like could have just done like Transport 3.
Well, exactly. Well, here's the thing that I'm going to say. No, Transport 3. There was Transport 3. You mean Transport 4?
Yeah, same thing.
Transport Refueled. Technically, you could have just done that as, like you're saying, a spin-off or something like that. It didn't need to be. But at a point, I don't think the series was downhill enough to warrant.
Like I said, it's still in people's memories. It's not like it came out 20 years ago. Then you could sort of like justify doing it.
Or if it got so crappy, that it was
we're gonna pretend that this one never happened. But you don't have to do that with the Transport.
All right, what do you think of? So technically, here's the thing, right? I'm going to bring this one up, Jumanji. But would you say, Jumanji 1995 and Jumanji 2017 is 2017 really a reboot? Because I think some people classify it as. But technically, you could say it's a continuation.
I would say it's a continuation.
But do you only had canon, or what you actually read as a continuation?
As you read it, like even in the beginning of the film, it sort of shows that it's a continuation because you see the board game.
Oh, it's true. No. That could have been just an Easter egg.
No, because you see the board game, and then the person goes, "I don't want to play a board game." So the thing changed itself into a game console. Like,
okay. Fair enough. It's just that some people classify it as a reboot, but I think it's because the genre of it changed completely.
Yeah.
Because the first one, the second one, they're really more action orientated.
Yeah.
Not the reboot, the one in 2017, which one in 2005 was more like I don't want to say a family drama because
it's they're two different they're two sort of different dramas, aren't they?
Yeah. They exactly. But I guess that's why some people is like, because they still call it. Well, yeah, it's subtitled itself "Welcome to the Jungle."
Yeah.
So it kind of. Okay, for what I've spoken on it already.
Yeah.
Would you say it was worth the sequel? Yeah.
Because
but then you can jump into. Technically speaking, you can jump into Jumanji 2017 without having. So it could be a continuation, it could be a reboot. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not like they directly said this is a reboot like they've done the others. But speaking of Jumanji and that, did you ever watch the sort of sequel to the original one called Zephyria? Is it Zephyria?
No.
Zephyria. No. So basically, it's a loose like continue to Jumanji.
Is this a series or
it's a film? It's a film.
Oh, right.
But it's the board game's set in space.
Yeah.
And these brother and these two brothers find it and they're playing it.
Yeah.
And their babysitters involved as well. But yeah, it's basically Jumanji, but
in space.
Yeah, it's weird. But it's good.
I'll have to have a look at that.
I can't remember the name.
Well, no, I say look at it, but I have to find out what's going on with that interpretation of it.
Pretty good.
What do you think of okay, kind of. I know we weren't saying about TV movies before, but it's 1990.
Technically, I just class it 1990 as a film.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I know. I even though it's a
TV movie, but yeah.
Well, for the sakes of this, though, because we got a big budget at the time, well, we'll just say we'll put this comparison in there just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Maybe make a special exception.
Yeah, we will.
Because people know about it.
Yeah.
What did you think? Like, okay, so it creeped me out when I was a kid, but when I'm watching the new one, it's like, okay, they got big budget for special effects, but it just makes it sometimes a bit more stand out as like, this not. I know it's a special effect, whereas the other ones were more practical with Tim Curry's teeth. And when his hand pops out of the book, literally just seems like, oh, the hand, whoever's hand is just out of shot, for example, it could have just been that simple. And they just push their hand through the book just to pop out. It's like all this practical stuff. It's like, it's a stop motion animation in the shower and stuff like that. Yeah. But I'm going to say, like, because they did it practically, you could kind of believe it was more there physically. When you are just using a bunch of CG effects.
Some films like that, like I'm saying, it takes it out of it. The CG, because I haven't seen the new ones. I got sort of put off it because everyone kept talking about it amongst people.
Well, you haven't seen both of the new ones.
No.
Okay.
But like from what I've heard from people like my brother and stuff like that, he says it's good, but like you were saying, it relies too much heavily on CGI, and it kind of takes you out of certain scares.
I'd actually say they're I want to say they're equivalent to. They're not necessarily looking at it in the way that they've executed, but by a budget.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can say the new version of it is better.
Yeah.
But storyline wise and stuff like that, they're kind of similar in the creepiness factor when you look at it like that. So it's not like as if one's particularly bad and it needed a reboot.
Yeah.
Like it's just a kind of a more modernized telling. When I say modernized, I mean like in the current technical execution of the film, because it still takes place in the was it whenever 1990s when it takes place, or?
I think so. Yeah, because you're right. Yeah. Well, question for you then regarding that, as you've seen both of them.
Yeah.
Could you say to someone, don't bother watch the original one, you can go straight into the new version of it?
Yeah, but you'd have to watch both parts. I mean, you know what? You can watch both parts as long as you watch it as both parts. You can watch them independently. Yeah. Actually, you probably even watch part one of it 2017 independently of 2019.
Yeah.
The 2018 continues that story, but the first part it could be a story by itself. Probably similar to the 1990 one. You could probably watch the first part by itself, but the second part relies on you kind of seeing the first part.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch them both. You don't necessarily need to watch one without the other. And I wouldn't say, oh, I recommend one over the other. But as a curiosity, I'm like, might as well watch them both because to see how it was executed.
But would it have, for example, say like someone younger than us was to watch the newer one first?
Yeah.
Do you reckon? I remember this is like people who are not used to like practical effects and stuff like that who would like rip it apart. Would you recommend them to see the original one?
Yeah, as a horror film, because it is creepy. And it's well acted. It's got a good atmosphere. The story. They don't use too many CG effects, but some of them are like the paper mache coming out the shower bit. Thing. Like, okay, that's a bit weird and a bit funny now. But it doesn't rely on those sort of scares to get it builds that atmosphere, which is good. It's not key on, oh, this is so creepy, or this, you need the special effect to pop out the heads and stuff like that. So I'd say, what you said you haven't seen either of the.
No, I've seen the original, the 1990s one. Yeah. But I haven't seen the reboot. Well,
I mean, they kind of they're kind of on equal level of each other. I'd say. Bear in mind, one's done way more cheaper and years before the other one. But as will it keep with you, kind of haunting you? Yeah. Probably. That was on an equal level because now that I rewatched it again, I wouldn't say that both of them either of them would give me nightmares as when I watched the first one as a kid.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, man.
That's probably because you're older as well. You sort of, cause like say you was the age you was when you saw the original one. Oh yeah. But you saw the new one.
Oh yeah, I just said say because it was more practical in the previous in 1998.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was more solid.
Yeah.
So then when you see him pop out the spinny cartoony thing, I can't remember the exact zoetrope.
Yeah.
It's like that's a CG effect.
Yeah.
You know? It doesn't capture you the same way. In the sense that I don't want to say, oh, you know what? Now because it's all special effects, I can tell what's real or not, and then that way you kind of like is less haunting. It's like, oh, I know they just put money in it. That looks too. Yeah, exactly. All right, but then all right. Point Break. Keanu Reeves' Point Break from 1991, and new Point Break with a whole bunch of I don't want to say nobodies, but from 2015. The guy who's imitating Keanu Reeves. Oh man.
I've seen bits and pieces of the new one.
Okay.
Watch it. Because Point Break is such a classic.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a film of its time.
Yeah. Johnny Utah.
Yeah, you can't films like that. You sort of shouldn't reboot because it just automatically comes with like cheesy, and it always gets that whole we've got to make it more darker and gritty sort of thing. But then it never works out that way because they try too hard to make it grounded. But in a film like Point Break, shouldn't be grounded. If you know what I mean.
Well, they're all surfer dudes, right? Which is fair enough, and they're Rob Banks. But in the reboot, what they like, they're all extreme sports and stuff like that, and it's just they're not. I don't know to say they're not memorable, but they just is nothing to the. So you got charisma from Keanu Reeves, not the greatest acting ability, but he's charismatic in this role.
Yeah.
Gary Busey as well there, with his manic acting. And Patrick Swayze is charismatic leader of the Dead Presidents.
Yeah.
But I can't remember anyone. Yeah. I can't remember anyone that's memorable at all in the new Point Break. And it was kind of like this new Point Break, I think we said it before, it's like a reboot of Fast and it's like, okay, so Point Break was kind of remade as Fast and Furious with the FBI going undercover in the extreme whatever, but this is car racing instead of surfing.
Yeah.
And this new Point Break is like a remake of Fast and Furious where they're like, okay, we're going to get the extreme sports that the FBI agent undercover was, and then so duty as well. It's just like, no man, it's just
it shouldn't like, I get it has a huge cult following or whatever, but it shouldn't have been rebooted. Just
not that you could have done a continuation of it anyway.
No, it's just been left at it.
Exactly. But it's just that they took certain points. They just kind of wanted to modernizing the film, but then it's just like just the characters, and it's the actors and the characters that stand out.
Yeah.
And the way they're written, rather than we can just transplant these over with new actors. And,
yeah.
Okay, what did you think of the Star Trek 2009 reboot?
Best thing ever. Yeah.
Right. But do you think at that point where it was going from, okay, we're going to count the original series movies and the Next Generation movies, did it kind of need a reboot?
Yeah, I think at that point, because at that point I personally think Star Trek as a brand wasn't a thing.
Right, but didn't it have like at that point 4 spin-offs as well, like Deep Space Nine, New Generation, Next Generation.
But by mid 2000s, all of them were gone. Because I think the only show they had was, I think it might be Star Trek. Things might be was it Star Trek Enterprise?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and that wasn't really doing too well.
Okay.
So I think they needed that boost to bring that series back. Because now look, you got like Star Trek Discovery, Picard, that cartoon one they got as well, was it? Lower Deck. So I think,
and they got the doing. I can't remember what it's going to be called, but spinning off Discovery, where Captain Pike and Spock So 10 decades before the actual original series.
Yeah.
Not 10 decades. 1 decade, 10 years.
Yeah, let's say 10 decades. I think wait, 100 years? Yeah, just realised what you said. Yeah.
I thought it was a good reboot.
Yeah.
Where they cast the right people in that, but not that it didn't need a reboot at that point because everyone was aging from their roles from 1960. So And I suppose if you were either you were going to make it as a whole new ship in a more modernized era.
Yeah.
As a continuation, or you're going to reboot with the people that people are familiar with. But
at least with this reboot as well, they sort of stayed true to they didn't say none of that stuff didn't happen.
Yeah,
that stuff did still happen.
Yeah,
but because of
time travel. I mean, this is an awkward because it's kind of like it's technically a reboot, but it's also a continuation.
Yeah,
because Spock is existing, and they altered the timeline and stuff like that. So what they did was pretty clean.
Yeah.
So you could still run it either way.
Yeah, you don't crap on your old fans by saying, "Well, you love never happened."
Yeah,
your stuff still happened, but it's over on timeline B or we're on timeline A. Yeah,
yeah.
Which I thought was good.
Yeah, no, it was well done. It was well done.
Yeah.
Well executed. Overall. What do you think of the Total Recall reboot? And was it Total Recall 992? Right? 1982, yeah. And
was it 82? Wow, I thought it was later that. But yeah, I think you're right.
Well, maybe. I think no. You're right. Because I'm like 82. That's when Conan was coming out.
I think it's like 87. I think.
Yeah. Something like
that.
And then the Colin Farrell's one from I think 2005.
No, I think it's later than that. I think it's quite later than that.
Okay.
I'll check in a sec. But
yeah. Well, you're like. So, did it need a reboot? Because I want to say the old one, it's a classic in the sense that there's certain things into it. You're like, it's a cult classic. It's definitely got some silly stuff, but it's memorable. It's not just a standard action film. They go to Mars. There's the lady with the
three-breasted sis.
Yeah. And you got Benny with his arm as well, and Quarto with the
chest baby.
All these elements you're like, they're memorable because they're wacky.
Yeah.
Right. But in this new one, it's just like a straight an action film. The only thing Colin Farrell's in it, and Kate Beckinsale was almost like the female Terminator in a way. Like she was coming at him no matter what. I'm like, okay, I get that. But nothing else is kind of
no.
It wasn't even the tension of is he in a real or fake world or something like that.
Yeah. I think a lot of these reboots as well, with films like Total Recall, I think they should only be done once because if you remake it, the surprise and stuff is already sort of there, unless you're doing a reimagining or whatever. Yeah. Like you go in and already know the key plots. You know what I mean? So it's like, why am I rewatching
well, here's the thing, isn't it? Like with the Mummies, like we were saying, or the Star Trek or something, you can tell a different story with the key elements.
Yeah.
But the key elements of these stories, is it a mind wipe? Or, is it a story in his mind, or is he actually going to miles away?
Yeah.
Is it, it's just, or is there some actual sort of conspiracy? And it's just like, well, we're just retelling beats from the novel, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All the most common version that people have seen, rather than a whole new story set in this universe. So yeah,
which probably worked better half the time it did, but they don't. It just. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it was worth a reboot. Like,
it's a standard action story.
It's a decent film, but it shouldn't be called. It shouldn't be called.
It didn't need to be total. Okay, what do you think of the Evil Deads?
Disclosure: I haven't seen the original in a long time, so I don't actually remember it.
Okay,
but the 2000 whatever remake, I actually liked it.
Okay. I'll tell you what. So at the point of Evil Dead 1, 2, and Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 3, it was becoming a comedy horror.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead, the remake, is kind of more of an actual horror.
Yeah.
Creepiness fact and all that stuff. So I think they tried to reset it to what it was originally meant to be.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, but then they had put the same. I don't want to play the similar Sam Raimi over the topness of certain things, because once you've set the tone of the universe,
you got sort of sick to it.
No, yeah, but in this they kind of took certain elements, like all the blood gushing over people and stuff, like the certain stuff that you're like, okay, I remember these elements. It's kind of like new set of people in here.
Yeah,
but you got to follow certain things to make it the actual that universe, like the Deadites and the over the top gore and stuff like that, chop your arm off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But retold actually in a more high budget, more, I want to say horrifying setting, but more like, this is sinister thing. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, because like it's what I'll say about the reboot, the reboot one as well.
Yeah,
it's sort of how I personally think it doesn't date itself.
No, which
is pretty good, because like we said before, loads of films instantly date themselves with certain things, but that one doesn't. It seems like you could watch it like 10 years from now and like say, that's so out of date.
Reboot wise, I'd say it's a good one, because it resets the series to the actual genre it was meant to be.
Instead of going left.
Action comedy, proper action comedy. But it's actually a pretty decent remake.
Yeah.
What do you reboot? But there's no sequels to it, so
which is pretty lame.
The Omen.
That's one with Damien, right?
Yeah, Damien Thorne. Which, by the way, there's The Omen 1, 2, 3, and there's number 4, The Awakening.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then they got to the reboot, I believe. Oh, right, it was number 5. I can't remember exactly, but I think that the by the point of number 3, they did kind of kill Damien.
Oh wow.
No, there wasn't a kid though. This one, he's Sam Neill at this point, so he's a fully grown man. And they kind of, I want to say they killed, but he kind of they got rid of him. So if you and then he has there's a child of Damien is number 4, but it was a TV movie, and I think at that point it got downhill, and they remade it in 2006. Rebooted in 2006.
Yeah, sounds about right. That's when they're bringing out all the reboots of like horror stuff.
But this is the thing, is like. I mean, it was just a baby at this point.
Yeah.
It was never like I think in the way it was a kid, that somehow the forces of evil, whatever it is, were protecting the baby to some degree. But it wasn't a bad reboot. It's just
it was okay. Because I remember I've seen the original and I've seen that one. I've got Julia Stiles or something in it. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. But again, like you're saying, I was like, do you really need to remake this?
Probably didn't. Nothing much to say about it. That's the thing, isn't it?
It's literally like technically sort of a shot for shot remake of the old one.
Yeah. And I want to say, it got to so bad that it needed a reboot, but it concluded its own story.
Yeah.
Whether you say it was a good conclusion or not, it kind of
ended.
Exactly. And I guess if they wanted to keep the franchise rolling, they would. The reboot is doing. I mean, unless you're going to say, Damien Thorne came back from hell or something like that. I mean,
then that's when you start getting weird territory. Then it becomes a joke.
Okay. Here's a good contrasting one.
Right.
Tomb Raider. Wait, hold on. Did we speak about Tomb Raider?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We did. Yes. I would say yes, it did need a reboot, because number 1 is okay.
Well, are you sure we didn't?
I think we might have talked about the game briefly. Yeah, I think we talked about the game. No, we talked about the game.
Okay.
And I was saying that
I tell you what's kind of funny actually. It's weird is I remember we recorded the one before. It's like, but we so many films, right? You know what? Just we already spoke. Let's as we've mentioned it already. Let's continue going. And if we repeat ourselves, we repeat ourselves.
I'm pretty sure we spoke.
But there's a lot of these films that we're speaking about. So like keeping the order of them is a bit like okay.
It's hard.
Yeah. So Tomb Raider 2001, 2003 Tomb Raider Cradle of Life, and then Tomb Raider 2018.
Oh, the sequel's coming soon.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, okay.
I thought it did bad. That's what I thought. I never knew it got a sequel.
Okay.
I would say yes, it did need a reboot.
Yep.
Because the first film was decent. It's a film of the 2000s.
Yeah.
The second one jumped the shark with all that weird.
I haven't seen the second one. I know that Daniel Craig was basically her adventurer.
Yeah. With time travel and all this weirdness. Yeah. Yes, it was not that good.
Yeah.
The new one, because they rebooted the game as well.
Yeah.
More falls in line with that, and it makes more sense to me rather than.
I liked the new one once they got onto the island.
Yeah.
But previously they spent about 40 minutes setting up a backstory with bike races in London, and she's MMA fighting and stuff. Not MMA fighting, but training and stuff like that. It's like, get me to the damn island, because you could have just got me there in the first 20 minutes. That's where the whole story takes place. And I know they were trying to set up her backstory, like, okay, she's...
Yeah, but they didn't have to do it.
No, they didn't need it. The whole adventure takes place on the island.
Yeah.
Don't worry about none of this stuff, the background, stuff like that. Once it got to the island, though, and then you had to reconfigure certain things to be in the realistic world where it was taking place. Like, she couldn't be fighting dinosaurs and stuff like that, or zombies and stuff like that. Oh, it's a virus that, like, not a magical, supernatural thing. I was like, okay. And Elisa Van de Kitter, however you pronounce her name, I think she did well in the role.
Well.
She looks more the part of the modern, the reboot version of Lara Croft. And she looks like she can handle herself, like, physically.
Yeah.
And I think it did kind of need a reboot because it's like, but then the fact is they based it on the reboot version of. They had the basic material already they needed.
To do it. Because like the games, obviously the first movie you had to base off the games, which was outlandish as it was. So it was like, it has to be outlandish with her, doing triple backflips and all this whatever. But I can't watch the original ones. My mum watches them all the time, but I can't.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. She watches weird things.
Nah. All right. Fair enough.
But yes, needed reboot was needed.
Okay. Ghostbusters. 1984 and 2016. And we won't even go to. Actually, here's the tag on the end of this, but we'll do that once we've talked about it.
It didn't need a reboot,
right?
But I actually didn't mind the female Ghostbusters. I actually liked it.
I haven't seen it, to be
fair. But it wasn't needed.
Yeah. To be fair, I have not seen it, but that's because the way it was marketed just didn't appeal to me. It's not because they were all women. I remember watching the female reboot of the Ghostbusters. They were women, or I hate women and stuff. No. I just the way that it was marketed, like it just didn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it's needless remakes. And
it
was.
Just
like what was That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, like I think what they should have done, like personally,
go on.
Film wise as well, they shouldn't have done it as a reboot. They should have like.
That's what I thought they were going to do. Like it was not a continuation per se exactly.
Yeah.
But those events happened previously, and these guys are picking up.
Yeah, that's what they should have done.
But when they said I was a reboot, it's just like, well, I've seen Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
How different can this original story be from the previous original story, other than there being all women?
Yeah.
And it's how the character who's not white is just not related to the field of whatever they're doing to begin with.
Just like it, it's like I personally I think it's a good film, but it wasn't needed. Yeah. And they promoted it wrong, and then also like I say some of the
jokes didn't hit.
Not than that, like people's personal opinions outside the film. Dampened the film as well.
I do actually think it was a good idea to cast Chris Hemsworth as the himbo secretary.
Yeah, no, he's hilarious. He's hilarious in that.
The Janine role, but it's like you know what, that's kind of fun. Like it could work with them because he's got comedic chops, and if it's all women, why not reverse it around, make him like the meat-headed dude?
But yeah, it's just It was good. Wasn't needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But and you know they're ignoring this and making a sequel to the previous ones.
I don't know how I feel about this either.
Yeah, we'll see how that works because they showed the little trailer where they busting out the old, like pulling out the cloth of the old Ecto 1 and stuff like that. So we'll just, know nothing. Are you looking forward to it, or are you just gonna be like
indifferent?
Okay.
That's how bad.
Okay. No, that's fair because it's like the reboot wasn't needed. Maybe this continuation isn't needed, but this probably should have been that reboot should have been probably a continuation more than the
Yeah, I think that would have went over better with people as well if you just did it like that. And we'll see.
How are we going to get to the Bonds?
God.
But then again, here's the thing. You know when we talk about the 4 films, the 7 installments. So kind of like we do cover some of these already. So I'm trying not to recover. But let's just streamline this straight up. Do you think it needed Casino Royale 2006 reboot? Was it needed?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
because the damage was done away from the other.
Because they're all meant to be one continuity.
Yeah,
even though you got different actors, and then you got different characters played by different actors as well. Well, I was just going to say the Bond multiverse, but technically it's not because it's still meant to be the same continuity.
Yeah, the single verse.
But it did need a refresh at that point.
At that point. Like, GoldenEye was good.
Yeah.
Was it Die Another... Wait, what's one after that?
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day.
No, Tomorrow Never Dies.
That's it, Tomorrow Never Dies. Then is it Die Another Day, and then The World Is Not Enough.
No, The World Is Not Enough. No, sorry. Yeah. Tomorrow Never Dies, then The World Is Not Enough, then it was Die Another Day.
Yeah. That's when it was like, wow, this is firmly made written by someone in the 90s that coming out in the 2000s, and like, oh, this is you need to. Yeah,
well, they got back to the grittiness of it, like not no gadgets because they did have CG and something, but nothing ludicrous, nothing. Ludicrous. It's just like straightforward, old-fashioned style, basic, more practical stuff.
Yeah.
I think at that point it did need a refresh, even though Judi Dench was still carried over.
Yeah.
Some parts are still, like, okay, fine, wait, right? I'll buy it. But we know this is a restart because this is set itself apart from
that.
Yeah, it's like and it's not even a prequel. It's just like none of that stuff they've existed in our universe.
This is our universe. Yeah, and it sort of felt more realistic again.
It wasn't cartoony.
Yeah, you can relate to Bond in a way because in this one he's a damaged individual rather than.
Yeah, and they modernized this fight style as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so
needed, yes, very needed.
Okay, we're gonna have to do these two. Well, there's 3 of them. We're just gonna do quick over because we probably spoke about it before. But Spider-Man, did it need the 3 reboots that it already had?
I don't know anymore. I mean, like with Spider-Man, I've got Stockholm syndrome at this point.
Okay, so as people say, Spider-Man 3, I think probably did need it from that point, right?
Yeah.
But and then the Amazing Spider-Man 2, you kind of like, all right, but
I still think if they
they overstuffed it. That's the point. So they kind of like they could have continued it, but they just too many floating things going about that they
did the Mummy thing, like we were saying. They tried to throws too much in there rather than spreading out on the next 2 films. They just tried
and then they were like, let's just shut the door on this.
But that's because of hacks. That's rubbish. But
but
they kind of like shot themselves in the foot over stuff in the film.
Yeah, and then and for them to a fresh reboot kind of to work into the MCU as well, like they kind of needed it.
Yeah, they needed to.
Okay, Batman.
Yes.
So we're gonna reboot from the Adam West one.
Yeah,
because I think they didn't need that because it was like getting to that era where it was a more darker style Batman. But by the time they got to the Christopher Nolan Batmans in 2005, yes, the Tim Burton Batmans no longer dark; they were just cartoony. So they did need that fresh reboot.
Yeah.
Whether they needed the fresh reboot from the end of Chris Nolan Batman to the Zack Snyder's Batman is a different matter, but as you're making a new universe, you kind of do.
Yeah, because
whether they should have, whatever, right? Whether they need to, whatever. But a new universe, so they had to.
Yeah,
I did like certain shots of Batman in Zack Snyder's universe. You know where they first encounter Batman and the ladies in the cage are like, oh, he's still here, it's like frightening stuff like that. But then when he starts murdering people, you're like, oh, I don't know about this.
Well, Batman murders, but just in long term. Yeah, because they did like how they're trying to set up the new DC universe. Like saying they did need a new Batman because how they done Nolan's Batman.
Yeah.
He wouldn't fit in there whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay, and then
yeah.
a Superman, which has
that needed.
Yeah, because Superman Quest for Peace. I mean, are you going to say Superman Returns as a reboot or continuation?
Continuation.
Yeah. All right. So we won't count that.
No.
Man of Steel. So I kind of guess yes. Because there hadn't been Superman films around for a bit, and if you're saying Superman Returns is a continuation of Superman 1 and parts of 2,
yeah,
and they're starting this new universe with new CG and stuff like that, yeah, kind of headed that way that it would need a reboot, but I don't, because of how Superman Returns ended up making not the ludicrous amount of money I think they thought they were going to make.
Yeah. Because that film is Superman doing nothing. That's really what it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, not saying it's badly acted or anything like that.
No, it's not badly acted. Just this, like, where'd you go with a sequel? How they sort of...
But here's the thing, with Man of Steel, they did the exact opposite. They actionized everything. So it's like, whether it's a well-executed reboot is another matter.
Nice.
But to kind of, like, at the point, they
needed it, yeah. Okay. Superman... Man of Steel was the Superman we need.
Oh, well... Okay, so here's another one where I'm going to say it could go two ways, right? But Bumblebee. So some people say it's a continuation of... Well, here's the thing. It can fit into canon. That's because it could be a prequel to the entire Transformers line, the movies. But some people say it is not in its own reboot because Optimus Prime, how they transform is different.
Yeah.
I would... Also... We will count the animated movie as well on top of this. So would you say... I would say the entire Michael Bay Transformers in the middle there. I like the animated movie, right? Yeah. He's cheesy. He's got great... But,
honestly, I'm not making a joke. Opinion. That's my honest opinion. It's the greatest one.
No, it's great. It's great because it actually has a storyline. It's cheesily done, however it is. 80s, but it's like the passing of the torch storyline and stuff like that. It's like, okay... But them tunes are great. I got the CD soundtrack. That was great.
I have every.
But it's pure 80s. It's pure 80s. But I think the entire Michael Bay just actionized Transformers lines. Like they're not Transformers. I'd say Bumblebee is more kind of like the Bumblebee's film was more like the Transformers that I was kind of expecting. And then they kind of eliminated all the other Transformers you're familiar with because they're like we don't want to not be associated with these set of films, but this is our guy we're going to start the film with. Yeah.
Like, this is my opinion on the Michael Bay films. I love the first one, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But, like, it's basically, we have a license with X amount of characters. We're just going to pick names and just throw them onto people. That's literally what it is. Yeah. Like, only a few of them are true to their characters. The rest are literally like, oh... This name looks cool. Let's make this character that person.
Yeah. Even though he doesn't act like this person.
Yeah, whatsoever. Like, by halfway through number 2, I was out of the franchise. I would say Bumblebee's a reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I actually thought it was quite cool as a film.
Yeah,
because it was concentrated. It's like, okay, it's easier to concentrate on one character than loads of characters. I guess you set your hero is Bumblebee. He's got his Decepticons that he's going to verse. You just make them not the cliche, but they don't need too much character interaction. Yeah. Bumblebee lost his memory, so it kind of like, okay, you establish his character, you establish this friendship and stuff like that. It builds from that point. Because then now he's like, now I'm going to protect the people that protected me. Yeah. What do you think of our buddy John Cena in it?
He's the greatest.
He's like, they're called damn Decepticons, people. Come on. I'm like, great call out there, John.
Yeah,
you're talking the most sense to this film out of everyone here. Come on.
Logic.
It's like, it's not
deceptions in their name.
Exactly. It's not like, okay, we need to work out whether our friends or not. Their damn name is like their villains. Come on.
That's like someone going, hey, I'm Mr. Murderer. I'm a good guy. Oh, you?
You know what I mean? Like the problem that I had with Sinestro all this time in Green Lantern, like
his name is Sinister technically. Why do you not? Yeah. Because even if you try and fit Bumblebee in a normal timeline, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why I say it's a reboot. Because even though, like, the reason why I hate the Bay ones as well. Yeah. Every film, I say this all the time, contradicts the last film.
They're all reboots of each other technically.
Yeah, because like the first film, that's the first time they've ever been on Earth. Megatron, the first one on Earth, blah, 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 and that's the first time Optimus Prime that's been on Earth. Then the second one, oh no.
There was something before
the 12 knights of Cyber, not knights at that point, the 12 whatever, they were here before you. And then the next one, oh no. The Decepticons have been working with the humans for this long.
Since the after times or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
and then the fourth one, the extinction. No, we've been here since the beginning of time. You know, dinosaurs.
All of you people, we fooled you all along.
Just, oh god, just stop.
I checked out a couple after, I think 1, 2. I didn't see the Mark Wahlberg ones.
I tried to give them hope because they started in the fourth one. It gets to a certain point, it's sort of good and it gets stupid. And then the fifth one hurt my feelings because they took one of my favorite characters and made him stupid.
Right.
Hot Rod.
Yeah.
The name Hot Rod is an American muscle car.
Yeah.
You make him into a French car. That makes no sense. He has a French accent. Makes no sense. You understand? I was angry when I watched that. Yeah, and again, even that, number 4. Sorry, this is my Transformer type little rant. Number 4, you make Megatron the Galvatron. I was like, okay, cool, that's sort of a good way to go in.
Yeah.
Instantly in the next film, he's back to Megatron. No explanation whatsoever. I was like, what?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bumblebee's a great movie.
Yep.
And
I kind of did the reboot. You're telling me after all the mucking about the time before we were here all along, and then we're like we were here from before that. We were here before that even.
No, because I reckon even
did they take out the dinosaurs? Were they the meteor that took out the dinosaurs?
This is where it's going to get even more convoluted. I'm telling you it now. At the end of 5, they basically hint to Earth. You know Unicron?
Yeah. Earth
is Unicron.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut up!
And I was like, I'm done. And so with the studio. So
alright, that'll be funny. Just imagine like when he finally transforms, then everyone on Earth just falls off of him. Like, what?
It's dumb because like how it ends, like you know Unicron's horns.
Yeah.
They find one of them in some desert place.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to find the ending of this and watch it somewhere.
I was like, they're really going this way.
Alright. Okay.
And then Bumblebee came, and they've done end the franchise off that because that made money. And it's like, Transformers continues from the start.
So I saved one of the best for last.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna stick to how I rank these films, and then see if you can guess them before. Alright. What the first one of these films?
Yeah.
Is so bad it's good.
Okay.
The second one of these films, the reboot. It's just simply bad.
Okay.
And the third one is actually really good. Based on a fighting game. 1994, 2009, 2014. Those are
Street Fighter.
Yes.
Oy.
Was it the dates that gave away, or was it the order that ranked them?
Okay. It was the dates.
Okay.
Because I was like, I know that date. I know that. Yeah. I personally think Street Fighter needs another reboot.
Wait, you did? Okay, first of all, before you go into that, we'll just go into the order of these things, and then I can ask you why.
Yeah.
Right. So Van Damme Street Fighter 1994. I think I wasn't a Street Fighter film, but as a Street Fighter property film, it's so bad it's hilariously good. Inadvertently, everything they did there is like. People are stupid. People are dumb. People are not even the characters they're meant to be. They could have been anything, but because it was a Street Fighter based property, you're like. This is a car crash, but
it's like what I was saying about the Transformers thing. They had the license to this thing, like let's throw his name to this guy. He sort of seems like he could. Yeah.
But once you got Guile, Van Damme cast as Guile, like he was like French, but from Belgium. It's like right, Colonel William F. Guile. For America, with the American flag on his.
You're like okay.
Oh well, I mean, this ride is gonna be wacky.
That's like Captain America being. Who's someone with weird, not being bad, like a weird accent. It's like getting example basically Jean-Claude Van Damme playing Captain America.
Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like that makes no sense.
Yeah, because you're trying to think of some people modern day, but actually, funny enough, modern day people can
do good accents.
But exactly. So sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't.
You can't.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't tell.
Yeah.
But then you got the people like Dolph Lundgren and Van Damme who can't really adjust their accents.
No.
Dolph Lundgren's got more Americanized voice now, but back then, traces of Swedish. So first movie, what do you think of it?
Like you said, it's so.
And this
bad
is not,
good.
by the way, We're talking about the video game movies, not the Sonny Chiba movies.
No. As a kid, I was confused by it.
Right.
When I got older, and I could appreciate the comedic bits to it, even though it's not trying to be funny.
Yeah. Well,
it became a great film.
Yeah, you know what? Some jokes in this film, I thought they're just plain stupid.
Yeah.
Whereas Zangief was like, they're showing on the TV the security where the van is going to crash into where they are.
Yeah.
And they're looking out there, they're looking at it, coming towards them, they're looking back at the security, looking back and forth, and then Zangief goes, someone change the channel.
I'm like, oh god.
But then I watch it again, and I'm like, because it was dumb at the time, but I'm watching it, I'm like, this is so dumb, it's actually hilarious.
Yeah. It's like, it's not even like, the person who wrote that, I don't know, why did you write this joke?
He wrote as a stupid individual, but now I can see the joke of it.
Yeah. It's one of the films that's got better with age.
Yeah.
That's that.
No one was memorable with this except
for Bison.
No, as in except for Guile and Bison. Guile for the wrong reasons and Bison for the right.
Yeah.
For not even the right reasons, but for overly campy comedic, inadvertent reasons as well. He's just completely over the top. And Ryu and Ken only because they're completely not them.
Yeah.
But they don't stick out in your memory as much as they what they do. They don't even do much.
E Honda sticks out to me more than them. That's only because he's related to. Because he's related to Roman Reigns. He's part of the Hawaii dynasty, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, all I gotta say about this is, it's not great. But it's not, I mean, yeah. Well, what do you think of the Legend of Chun-Li?
I tried to watch that film and I legit fell asleep. And you know, normally if you fall asleep for a film, you'll go back to where you remember you fell asleep.
Yeah.
No, I didn't bother. So that was like 10 years ago at this point. I haven't gone back to watch that film again.
Yeah, either that or you've never woke from your sleep. But
no, still in a coma.
Well, yeah, it's not great. It's actually very, very bad.
Yeah, this is around the time when I was just making any sort of fighting game into a movie.
Yeah.
To research
I'm probably gonna want to have a larger discussion on these 3 iterations of Street Fighter films. So I'm just gonna close and say you probably don't want to watch this as a Street Fighter film if you're a Street Fighter fan.
Yeah,
it's a lot of changes that don't make a lot
of sense. No.
But we'll move on from that.
Yeah.
A Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard great things.
Yeah. It's very good. It's very good. Characters look like characters. Characters act like the characters. Even though it's only focused on Ryu and Ken mainly, and you got Akuma in it and Goken and Gotetsu. Pretty well done for. I want to say a small budget film, but it's like in it's in a confined area, so they had to maximize their budget where they could, and it was not a major motion picture blockbuster sort of in the cinema sort of thing, but it's definitely a very good movie about these guys and their journey.
Become masters of the Hadou.
Exactly, but don't expect him to be a world-hopping adventure because it's not.
No, it's not. I'm guessing it doesn't take part on any streets.
No. But it's very good. It's very good. If you know what you're going in for, and if you're watching about the characters, because there's fights, there's character dramas, but they can only be really fighting each other. But what they pulled off is actually pretty good, and the universe they wanted to say it in. It's a shame they never got a sequel.
No.
Or sequel series or whatever they're trying to get to.
I thought it would have, because it's got a lot of internet buzz. But
Of all the ones I'd say to watch, definitely watch this one.
Okay.
As a Street Fighter fan, it's very good.
Is there any reference to Dan in this?
Kind of yes and no.
Oh, okay.
So each of these guys got a tablet. Wooden tablet, not like an iPad. This is set in the 80s. And of the people that have been trained in the Assassin, and there is a tab for Dan there. So that it's written as Dan.
Yeah.
So Dan I think in the story they don't say it. Yeah. But the way they worked in there is before Goken trained Ryu and Ken. He trained Dan, but then he's like, no, you're
crap. Get out.
No, like you're there trying to get trained for revenge because Sagat killed your dad.
Yeah.
Oh, this is back in the actual Street Fighter 2 lore.
Yeah.
But I think so he kind of shoved him out. He's like, no, we didn't use this for revenge.
Yeah.
Not that he referenced it in the Assassin's Creed movie, but you can just kind of insert your own headcanon there and say, okay, that's his story existed before these guys' story.
Yeah. Damn.
So, did Street Fighter deserve a reboot? Damn right it did.
It still does, in all fairness.
Well, this Assassin's Fist deserves a continuation, is what I will say.
Yeah, or just, I would say, get the same people who did it and just start fresh. Because how long ago did Assassin's Fist come out?
2014.
Oh, so it's not that too long, but yeah. Oh, yeah, just continue it. Reboot deserved.
Okay. Alright, that will bring us to a close for this episode.
Yes.
Of reboot films, because there's probably going to be a ton we'll go through. But this is over in general. Actually, we might take specific films and do larger...
Yeah, in-depth discussions on...
Yeah, exactly.
Here and where and whys.
Yeah. But let us know if anything we've gone through is specific that you want us to discuss.
Yeah. Or if you disagree with us.
Yeah.
I hope you don't.
We'll have to see about that.
Yeah.
But thanks for taking a trip around the multiverse with us.
Yes. And I'm being Kyle Charles.
I'm CY Chung.
And catch you next time.